What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Green Bay Packers Report. We are officially 1 day away from the NFL trade deadline. And I'll tell you this right now, the closer that we get to 3 p.m. Central Time tomorrow, the more things that are going to happen. And today is already proving true because by the time I was awake, Jalen Phillips had already been traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Happened in my sleep, probably happened in your sleep as well. As Howie Roseman has been a very, very busy guy recently. He has the 3 most recent trades, as the Eagles also traded for Jair Alexander. Rematch coming up on Monday. They also trade for Michael Carter II. And then the San Francisco 49ers trade for Keon White. Steelers trade for Kyle Duggar. Things have happened a ton over the last couple of days, and it's only going to ramp up over the next 24 to 36 hours as these trades all are getting finalized before that trade deadline tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. So, what does that mean for Green Bay? Glad you asked. We're about to tell you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, though, because it is free to do so. And we are 444 subs away from 17,500. What you get in return, daily, free Packers shows right here on the Packers Report every single day. So subscribe right now. It's free to do so. So, what are the Packers looking for? I think that is the first question that we are going to answer today because we got some new stuff from Diana Russini, Ian Rappaport, some awesome intel. Let's start with Russini. The Colts need corners and have been calling, but the Ravens and the Packers are also looking for corners. Thank you, Diana, for letting us know a little bit more about that. Easton Butler, the Packers Report's favorite insider, tweeted out just a couple of days ago, the Packers have continued to make calls at the cornerback position, calling Cleveland this week about Denzel Ward, per source. They've also continued to have conversations with the Saints and Bengals about Alontae Taylor and Cam Taylor-Britt. Dan Stager also going out of his way to saying Easton Butler was right. Green Bay has checked into cornerbacks the past week or two. A lot of people owe that man some apologies. So what we know from those 3 sources, really those 2 specifically, Green Bay is calling around on corners. Denzel Ward was mentioned, and I'm just here to tell you, Denzel Ward would be pretty crazy. Like, that would be a splash. That would be a bigger splash than I was ever expecting the Green Bay Packers to make. Because I would never have been surprised if they made a trade over the next couple of days or even over the last couple of days. But if it was going to be a big splash, like a player like Denzel Ward, that was something to me that I thought would be a little bit shocking. I feel like he would cost around not a second rounder, Gage. Sorry, that's my bad. I feel like he cost probably around a second round pick. And what we know about Green Bay right now is they don't have their first rounder because they traded it for Micah Parsons. Well, if they trade for Denzel Ward and he does cost a second round pick, then they would be without their first and second rounders. And if you know anything about Brian Gutekunst, that doesn't necessarily align with what we're used to seeing from him. We know that he is not the most aggressive guy, but he showed aggression with the Micah Parsons deal. I just don't expect him to kind of double dip into that aggression and say, hey, we've dealt the first, go ahead, deal the second as well, get a guy like Denzel Ward in here. Let's talk about some cheaper cornerbacks you could look at. Alontae Taylor, a guy that Easton Butler already had discussed. We've talked about him a lot on this channel, and we know the New Orleans Saints, as they continue to lose games, they will continue to be sellers. Expect to see a lot of action from the Saints over the next 24 to 30 hours. Alontae Taylor so far in 2025 has had a pretty good season. Now, he does have some ups and he does have some downs. He's not the most consistent cornerback in coverage, but he's an unbelievable run defender, okay? Now, obviously, you do not trade for cornerbacks to be run defenders. But I feel like one of the reasons he's struggling in coverage is just because the New Orleans Saints almost have no pass rush, okay? It's hard to be a coverage cornerback in this league when your defensive line is not getting the quarterback. Now, Green Bay had massive trouble getting to the quarterback just yesterday against the Carolina Panthers. But all that to be said, I still believe in them as an edge rush group, and they help cornerbacks be a lot better at their jobs. Rick Woolen is another guy we got to talk about, a guy we've talked about probably the most of any cornerback trade option on this show and on this program, is I think one of the more likely options, because we know he's been on the trade block for a very, very long time. We know that even last night what Seattle was able to do to Washington, they've got a really good team. They've got a really good roster, and they are open to trading away Rick Woolen. So far in 2025, in the 6 games he's played in, he's had 19 tackles, 3 pass breakups, no interceptions yet on the year, but he's just a year removed from getting 3 picks, 14 PBUs, and he's just a few years removed from, getting 2 picks, 11 PBUs, and 53 tackles. Rick Woolen, I feel like, would fit in really, really well with this group. Now, I love Carrington Valentine, okay? Really pumped up about the game he played yesterday. I like Keyshawn Nixon a lot. I'm not saying that either of those guys were the reason we lost yesterday's game to Carolina. I'm just saying what we hear as of right now, cornerbacks are being looked at from Green Bay, and there's a couple of cheaper options. Which position do you think the Packers should trade for? Let me know in the comment section down below. Weigh in and give me your answer. Up next, we know a wide receiver might be on the move as well. I tell you this, we got a ton of trade news. That was the title of this video, and we're only 1/4 of the way through. Easton Butler coming at us again a couple of days ago. Gonna say this now before Ricky does, but the Giants have called the Packers about wide receivers Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks recently. Also, several other teams about their wide receivers, including Washington for McLaurin and the Dolphins for Waddle. That date is wrong. That's supposed to be just a couple days ago. So don't see that and be like, oh, Joey, that was 3 weeks ago. No, this was around, I believe it was on Friday. We've been talking about this since May, okay? Plain and simple. We knew, given the depth of this wide receiver room, after you drafted Matthew Golden, after you drafted Savion Williams, it would be ridiculous to think that they all had the utmost job security. But I will say, with Tucker Kraft's injury, I feel like this does change. If you would have asked me on Sunday before the game, hey, do you think one of the wide receivers get dealt? I would have said, yeah, I feel like there's probably a pretty good chance that Wicks gets dealt. But now after Tucker Kraft goes down, who is debatably your best pass catcher, I don't think any of these guys move, okay? Unless it's something big. I think the wide receivers stay. Now, if somebody goes out there and offers a 3rd-round pick for Romeo Doubs, maybe you listen to it. Maybe it ends up happening. But with Tucker Kraft most likely being out for the rest of the season, I feel like these wide receivers aren't going to go anywhere. When you talk about trading Doubs, the pro is he's having a great season, right? So he'd be a little bit easier to deal. The con is it's the end of his rookie deal. Okay, so that makes him a little bit harder to move. For Dontavian Wicks, he's the cheapest option for teams looking to trade into him. But he kind of has yet to put it all together. He has the tools, though, but you've yet to see it all for one singular season. For Christian Watson, he's on a cheap deal, right? Just one more year after this rookie year, $13 million. But, of course, he is coming off that ACL tear in January. He's played a couple of games. He's looked good, but still it's something to think about, somebody you worry about if you're going to trade for. Something you shouldn't be worried about, though, is our great friends over at Underdog. And today's show is sponsored by Underdog. They're my favorite sponsor, and that's because I use them every single day. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report, you score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Packers Report to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Here's my lineup for Monday Night Football. Give me the higher on Javonte Williams, 65.5 rushing yards. Give me the lower on CeeDee Lamb, 6.5 receptions. That's a lot of receptions. I get it. He's their best weapon. But I'm going to go a little risky. Give me the lower on that. And give me the higher on Marvin Harrison Jr., 4.5 receptions. The Cowboys secondary is atrocious. So download the app today, again, and sign up with promo code Packers Report. Score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older. 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 or older in Colorado for some games. 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in any state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing-good-terms_DFS_DFS Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Some more trade intel. Apparently, some teams are looking in on Packers center Elgton Jenkins. This one, again, coming from our main man, Easton Butler. The Buccaneers apparently called on the availability of offensive lineman Elgton Jenkins. Now, we don't know if that's because they want him to play center or if they want him to play guard. We know he is well-versed in both positions, making that jump from guard to center just this last year. And I'm curious to see how Green Bay handles this. Because I feel like they shouldn't trade him. You think about the interior of your offensive line this year, I feel like that's been a big question mark. Obviously, you've had the health issues of Aaron Banks. But, like, if you think of the right guard position, that's been a massive, massive detriment to this offense. And if you just trade away your center as well, sure, you can move Sean Ryan in at center. He's used to playing that position. But I don't really love what I'm seeing of Sean Ryan this year. So it's a weird predicament. I would be very surprised if Elgton Jenkins was dealt. Should the Packers trade him? Let me know by giving me a yes or a no in the comment section down below. What do you think? Let me know right now. Last up, thank God this did not happen. Okay? Thank the Lord. Because we know that Luke Musgrave had gotten a couple of bites, some trade interest. Chiefs and Jaguars, two teams that have offered Green Bay with more this week. Reported offers haven't been anything higher than a 5th-round pick. And I feel like if Tucker Kraft would not have gotten injured, Musgrave for a 5th may have been possible, right? But he's not going anywhere now. I can promise you that, okay? And so 2020 hindsight looks unbelievably very, very lucky the fact that you didn't trade Luke Musgrave ahead of Sunday's game. Because as we know from Ian Rappaport, the latest we know is that the fear is Tucker Kraft tore his ACL. Now he's getting an MRI today. He's getting some more tests today. But good thing you didn't give away Luke Musgrave. Make sure you guys got me followed on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm on both platforms. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel as well. We give you daily content. It's all free. It never won't be free. Okay, some double negatives there, but you get what I'm saying. Join us if you love the Cheeseheads. If you love the Packers, we're going to be right here every single